Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President, and thank you to all the colleagues on this side. As I rise to bring a matter of public importance to the chamber, it was so overwhelmingly supported. And I know that's because every person in this place is willing to recognise, well, certainly on this side of the chamber, that the single most important issue facing Australians today, you would also hope actually was the top priority for this Albanese government, is the cost of living. And we know that on the 4th of May 2022, Prime Minister Albanese put out a tweet. Australians are being hit with a triple whammy of skyrocketing costs of essentials, falling real wages and now an interest rate hike. They need a government with a plan to ease the cost of living. Well, you know what? Never a truer word has been spoken. Never a truer word. Because Australians are now being hit with a triple whammy of skyrocketing costs of essentials, falling real wages, not that real is a word that can pass the lips of those opposite, and now another interest rate hike, the 12th under this government, which demonstrates a clear failure of the Albanese government to deliver a cost of living plan. Now, you would think that those opposite would be nodding along in fierce agreement, but yet they cannot bring themselves to acknowledge in full effect the pain and hardship being felt by households all over the country. They absolutely cannot bring themselves to do anything but partisan politics, and the Australian people are growing sick and tired of this, and it really is starting to show. The Sydney Morning Herald led a story, "Voters' gloomy outlook worsens. Aussies are bracing for hardship," according to the article. They're expecting price hikes and falling wages despite the government's empty promises, when even the SMH can see through it. Only 8% of voters expect the economy to improve over the next 3 months, the article says. 50% believe it'll get worse. 52% of people say this is the highest priority issue for their vote, and that's up from 32% last year. The Australian today has an article that the PM pays the price for rising costs. It says that Anthony Albanese's standing among voters continues to tank amid rising cost of living pressures, 13 rate hikes and the Voice referendum fallout, with a new poll revealing the Prime Minister's net favourability has plunged 37 points since May. Two very different mastheads, very similar conclusions. This is a government that's failing and the people know. Business knows it, as the AFR reports today that our economy has taken a major plunge in a resilience ranking, that we've fallen from first place in 2004 down to 20th place in 2023. It's determined deteriorating energy infrastructure, lacklustre entrepreneurship and poor competition rules are putting our future prosperity at risk. Australia has dropped further than comparable countries, including the US, UK, Canada and New Zealand in the same period. It's plummeted 15 places on economic competitiveness, and from the 21st to 52nd place on quality of energy infrastructure. And this is all indicative of the total inaction and obfuscation of this government on the economy. The Prime Minister is missing in action, or when he's seen, he is out there acting on ideological crusades. So we are now seeing the highest rates since 2011, surprisingly, when the Labor government was last in power. When we left government, the rate was 0.33. So now what is it? 4.35. And we know that an average family with a mortgage of $750,000 has to find an extra $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year. Rents are up. Nationally, we've seen a three-bedder go from $440 a week to $665 a week, and we know on the East Coast it's significantly higher than that. Inflation, way too high, higher than almost every other major advanced economy. Electricity is up, and people are going to suffer when it comes to this summer, particularly if it is a hot, as predicted, summer, of whether they can put food on the table or have a little bit of aircon. Insurance is up, food is up. These issues all continue to compound on each other, making the pain worse for Australian families every day. So, Mr Albanese, your own words condemn you. The triple whammy you spoke of, that all falls squarely at your feet, and you were spot on. Australians deserve a government with a plan, and it's clearly not yours.